Welcome to my channel. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt your brain is full of ideas, your heart is ready to share them, but your mouth refuses to move? You know the words, but when the time comes, you freeze. You stop. You feel nervous. This happens to many people. They study grammar. They memorize vocabulary. But when it is time to speak, they cannot. Why does this happen? The reason is simple. Speaking is not just knowledge, it is power. Speaking power. Today, I will show you how to build this power. Step by step. Each moment of this video will give you something new. One secret, one idea, one method that can change the way you speak forever. So stay with me till the end. Because what you are about to learn can open the door to confident, clear and powerful speaking. Chapter E. Understanding Speaking Power. When we talk about improving our English, most people think first about learning more words. They buy vocabulary books. They try to memorize lists, and they believe that once they know thousands of words, speaking will become easy. But this is not the full truth. Speaking power is not just the number of words in your head. Speaking power means using words quickly, using them naturally, and using them with confidence in real life. If you know the word but cannot say it when you need it, then it is almost the same as not knowing the word at all. That is why we must understand that speaking is a skill, not just knowledge. Think about the difference between knowing English and speaking English. Many people can understand English when they read or when they listen. They can write in English if they have time to think and check. But when they try to speak, the sentences do not come out. They feel slow. They feel nervous, and sometimes they even stop talking in the middle of a sentence. This shows the gap between knowledge and power. Power. Knowledge is inside the brain, but power is the ability to bring it out through your mouth. That is why some people say, "I understand everything, but I cannot speak." What they really mean is, "I have knowledge, but I do not yet have speaking power." Now, let us think about how children learn to speak. A small child does not study grammar books. A child does not memorize difficult words. A child only hears simple words and then repeats them again and again. For example, a baby hears mama, 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 and then tries to say the same sound. After many tries, the sound becomes clear. Then the baby hears ball, 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 and after some time the baby can say it too. This is how speaking power grows, through listening, repeating, and using words again and again. If a child makes mistakes, nobody laughs, nobody corrects grammar every second, and still the child becomes fluent. This is the natural way to learn speaking power. Speaking power is like a muscle in your body. Imagine your hand. If you never exercise it, it will stay weak. But if you use it every day, lifting small weights, after some months your hand will become strong. The same is true for your speaking. If you only study but never use your mouth to say the words, your speaking muscle will stay weak. But if you practice daily, even with small and simple sentences, the muscle will grow. It will become strong. After some time, you will be able to speak quickly and naturally. This is why practice is more important than perfection. I want to share with you a story. One of my students studied English grammar for 10 years. She knew all the rules. She could explain tenses. She could write essays, and she could pass exams. But when she went to a job interview, she could not answer simple questions like, "Can you tell us about yourself?" She froze. She became silent. After the interview, she told me, "Teacher, I know English, but I cannot speak it." This was the moment. I explained to her that she was missing speaking power. I asked her to forget grammar books for some time and instead start speaking short sentences daily. She practiced in front of the mirror. She practiced while walking. Loke. She practiced by recording her own voice. Slowly, her power grew. After 6 months, she went to another interview. This time, she spoke confidently and got the job. This shows that practice builds power, not memorization. Another example is of a boy who always waited for the perfect time to speak. He said, "I will talk when my English is good. I will speak when I know enough grammar." But that day never came. Years passed, and he was still waiting. Then one day he decided to just speak, even if he made mistakes. He started greeting people in English. He started asking small questions like, "How are you? And where are you going?" He even started talking to himself in English when nobody was around. Right? At first, he made many mistakes, but slowly he noticed improvement. He realized that waiting for perfection was a trap. The secret was practice, not waiting. This is the foundation of speaking power. If you understand this, you will not waste time on memorizing without using. You will not wait until you feel ready. You will start now with what you already know. Even one simple sentence can be powerful if you use it daily. The more you use your words, the more natural they will become. The more natural they become, the more confident you will feel. And when you feel confident, you will speak more. This is how the cycle of speaking power works. So remember this: speaking power is not about perfection. It is not about knowing everything. It is about using what you know, today, right now. Every time you open your mouth and say something in English, you are training your muscle. Every time you repeat, you are building your strength. Do not be afraid of mistakes. Be afraid of silence. Silence will keep your power weak. But speaking, even with mistakes, will make your power strong. This is why in this first step I want you to change your mindset. Lachen. Stop thinking, "I cannot speak." Start thinking, "I am building my power." Because the truth is, speaking power is not something you are born with. It is something you build day by day, sentence by sentence, word by word. And if you keep building, very soon you will see yourself speaking more clearly, more confidently, and more naturally than ever before. Chapter R. Building confidence to speak. Now that you understand what speaking power really means, big step is building confidence. Confidence is like the key that opens the door to your voice. You can have words inside you. You can have grammar knowledge. But if you do not have confidence, your voice will remain locked. Many learners stay silent not because they do not know, but because they are afraid. Afraid of mistakes, afraid of laughter, afraid of being judged. But the truth is simple. Mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is the enemy. If you stay silent, your speaking power will never grow. But if you speak, even with mistakes, your confidence will grow with every word. Think about this. How many times have you wanted to speak English, but stopped yourself? Maybe you were in a shop and you thought of asking something in English, but then you switched back to your own language because you felt shy. Or maybe you wanted to greet someone with, "How are you?" but you worried about what they would think if your accent was wrong. These small moments of hesitation are the walls that stop you from moving forward. The only way to break these walls is to speak anyway. Even if it is not perfect. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes because of speaking. Let us imagine a very simple situation. You walk into a restaurant, UK. The waiter comes to you and says, "What would you like?" In your mind, you already know the answer. You want to say, "I would like chicken." Please, but suddenly you feel nervous. You think, what if I say it wrong? What if he does not understand me? And so, you stay quiet, or you switch to another language. But if you take a deep breath and say, "I would like chicken, please." Even if your pronunciation is not perfect, the waiter will understand. You will feel proud. And next time, it will be easier. This is how confidence is built, one small sentence at a time. Another situation. Imagine you are at a shop. You want to ask the shopkeeper, "How much is this?" It is a short, easy sentence. But many learners hesitate. They think too much about grammar. Grammar, or about making a mistake. But when you try it once, you realize how simple it is. You say, "How much is this?" And the shopkeeper answers. Suddenly, you feel stronger. You feel, "I can do this." These little victories are more powerful than studying grammar for hours. They give you the courage to try again and again. Confidence grows when you stop waiting for perfection. Many learners think, "I will speak when my English is perfect." But that day never comes. Even native speakers are not perfect. They also make mistakes. The real secret is to speak. Now, with the English you already have, if you can say "Good morning," then say it. If you can say, "I am learning English," then say it. If you can say, "What is your name?" then say it. These simple sentences are not small. They are your training. Each time you use them, you are exercising your speaking muscle and building your confidence. Let me share a story with you. One of my students was very shy. She understood English very well, but she never spoke in class. She was afraid that her classmates would laugh at her mistakes. One day, I gave her a challenge. I said, "Every day, I want you to say just one sentence in English to someone. It can be anyone, a friend, a shopkeeper, even your family." At first, she felt scared, but she tried. She said to her mother, "Good morning." Her mother smiled and replied. The next day, she said to a shopkeeper. How much is this? Slowly, her fear started to disappear. After 1 month, she was speaking small sentences every day. After 6 months, she was speaking freely in class. She told me. The first sentence was the hardest. But after that, everything became easier. This is the truth. The hardest part of speaking is not grammar. It is fear. Once you break the fear, you can move forward quickly. And you do not need big words or long speeches to break the fear. You only need small, simple sentences. Let me give you some examples you can use today. Good morning. How are you? My name is. Where are you from? I am learning English. I like this. Can you help me? These are not complicated sentences. They are simple, but they are powerful. Each time you say one of them. In real life, your confidence will grow. Remember this: mistakes will not stop you. Silence will stop you. If someone corrects you, say thank you and keep speaking. If someone laughs, smile and keep speaking. If someone does not understand, try again. Every time you keep speaking, you win. The only way you lose is if you stop. Confidence also comes from practice. In safe spaces. Wide. You can practice speaking in front of a mirror. You can talk to yourself in English. When you are walking alone, you can record your own voice and listen back. These may feel small, but they are powerful exercises. When you hear yourself speaking, you start to believe, yes, I can do this. And when you believe it, your confidence grows. So the next time you feel shy, remember this chapter. Tell yourself, mistakes are not the enemy. Silence is the enemy. Speak small, speak simple, but speak. Each word is a step. Each step is progress. And with each small victory, your confidence will rise higher and higher. Chapter 10. Daily habits that make you strong. Now that you understand speaking power and how confidence works, let us go deeper. The question is, how do you train yourself every day? Because speaking power is not something you get in one day. It is something you build, slowly, like a house. Each brick is a small habit, and if you place these bricks daily, soon you will have a strong house. The good news is, you do not need to wait for a teacher or a partner. You can build your speaking power alone every single day with simple habits. These habits are not boring. They are fun and easy, and they will make your English strong. Strong. One of the best daily habits is called shadowing. Shadowing means you listen to English and repeat it immediately. Like a shadow follows your body. For example, you play a short video, or a podcast, or even a line from a movie. As soon as you hear it, you repeat it. If the speaker says, I am going to the market, you say, I am going to the market. In the same way, you do not need to think about grammar. You just copy the sound, the rhythm, and the speed. At first, it feels difficult. You may feel slow, you may miss words. But if you do this daily, your mouth becomes used to English sounds. Slowly, you will start speaking faster and more naturally. This is how many learners improve their fluency quickly. Another simple habit is talking to yourself in English. Many learners wait for another person to speak to, but that is not necessary. Nisu, you can speak to yourself anytime, anywhere. For example, when you wake up in the morning, say to yourself, "Good morning. Today I will go to work. I feel happy." When you are cooking, you can say, "I am cutting vegetables. I am boiling rice." When you are walking, you can say, "The sun is bright. The road is busy." These are small sentences, but they are powerful. They train your mouth to speak English without fear, and the more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Recording your voice is another very powerful habit. At first, many learners feel shy to hear their own voice. They think, "I don't like my accent. I sound strange." But when you record yourself and listen back, you will notice two important things. First, you will see your progress. You may feel you are not improving, but when you compare your old recordings with new ones, you will realize how much stronger you have become. Second, you will notice your mistakes more clearly. Maybe you pronounce one word incorrectly. Maybe you speak too fast. By listening, you can correct yourself step by step. This habit is like having your own teacher inside your phone. Using short sentences throughout the day is also a wonderful practice. Many learners try to make long, complicated sentences, and then they get stuck. But if you focus on short sentences, you will succeed. For example, say, "I am hungry. I like tea. This is good." These are small, but they give you confidence. And as your confidence grows, your sentences will also grow. Step by step, you will move from short to longer sentences naturally, without fear. Let me tell you a story. One of my students was always waiting for someone to practice with. He said, "Teacher, I cannot practice because nobody speaks English at home." I told him, "You don't need anyone. You are enough." I asked him to practice speaking alone for 2 minutes every morning. At first, he laughed. He thought it was silly to talk to himself. Oh, but he tried. Every morning, he stood in front of the mirror and spoke. He said things like, "My name is Ali. Today is Monday. I will study English." He did this daily. After a few weeks, he started adding more sentences. He described his clothes, his room, his plans. After 3 months, his speaking became smoother. After 6 months, he spoke fluently with confidence. He told me, "The secret was not waiting for others. The secret was practicing alone every day." This is the spike moment, realizing you do not need to wait. You do not need a teacher in front of you every second. You do not need a partner sitting next to you. You can build your speaking power alone. Your mirror can be your friend. Your phone can be your listener. Your own voice can be your teacher. Once you understand this, nothing can stop you. Think of it like exercising your body. If you go to the gym once a month, you will not get strong. But if you do push-ups every day at home, even just 10 push-ups, you will become stronger. The same is true with English. UK. If you speak only once a month in class, it is not enough. But if you speak every day at home, even for 10 minutes, you will become powerful. Daily practice is the real gym for your speaking. So I want you to try this. Choose one habit today. Maybe shadowing, maybe talking to yourself, maybe recording your voice, maybe short sentences. But choose one and do it every single day. Even if it is only 5 minutes. Do it and do not stop. After 1 month, you will see the difference. After 3 months, you will feel the difference. After 6 months, you will be a different person. You will be stronger, more confident, and ready to speak in any situation. Remember, small habits build big power. Do not wait for tomorrow. Start today. Start now, because every word you speak today makes your tomorrow stronger. Chapter: Growing Power with Real Conversations. Now that you understand speaking power, confidence, and daily habits, it is time for the final step: real conversations. This is where everything you have learned comes together. Speaking alone is important. Practicing daily is important. But the true test of your speaking power is when you use it with other people. Real conversations are like the final exam, and they are also the fastest way to grow. When you speak with another person, you do not only practice your voice, you also practice listening, understanding, and responding. It is real, it is alive, and it is powerful. So, how do you find real conversations? There are many ways, and you can start small. One way is to join an English club. Many schools, libraries, and even online communities have clubs where people meet to practice English. In these clubs, everyone is a learner, so you do not need to feel shy. Everyone makes mistakes, and everyone is there to improve. I remember one student who joined a small English club in his town. At first, he only listened. He said nothing. But after 2 weeks, he started saying short sentences. After 2 months, he was sharing his ideas. After 6 months, he was leading the group. That is the power of practicing. In a real community, if you cannot find a club, you can practice with friends. Maybe your friend is also learning English. Make a rule. When you meet, speak English for 5 minutes. It does not matter if you switch back to your language later, but give yourself those 5 minutes. Talk about simple things. What did you eat today? What are your plans tomorrow? How was your work? These are normal conversations. But they are also training sessions for your speaking power. The more you use English in daily talk, the more natural it becomes. In today's world, you can also use online platforms to speak with strangers. There are apps and websites where people from different countries connect just to practice languages. Imagine speaking with someone from Japan, Brazil, or Egypt. You not only practice English, but you also learn about other cultures. Many learners feel nervous about this at first, but once you try, you realize how exciting it is. You see that English is not just a subject. It is a bridge that connects you to the world. But real conversations do not always mean speaking to a person face to face. You can also practice through watching movies and reading aloud. For example, when you watch a movie in English, choose one short dialogue, pause the movie and repeat the dialogue with the same tone. If the actor says, Are you ready? You say, Are you ready? In the same way. Then try to imagine yourself in that situation. This is more than practice. It is living the language. Reading aloud is also powerful. Take a short story or an article and read it with your voice. Do not just read silently. When you speak the words, you train your mouth and your ears at the same time, slowly. Your pronunciation and fluency improve without effort. Another strong method is practicing common dialogues. Think about the conversations you use most in daily life. Greeting someone, ordering food, asking for directions, talking about the weather. Write down these dialogues, memorize them, and use them. For example, practice. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. And you? Or, excuse me, can you help me? Yes, of course. What do you need? These simple dialogues are the building blocks of real conversations. When you use them often, you become more comfortable, and soon you can expand them into bigger conversations. The key message here is, do not just learn English, live English. This means you must bring English into your real life. If you are cooking, read the recipe in English. If you are sending a text to a friend, try writing it in English. If you are thinking about your plans, think in English. English should not be something you study only in a classroom. It should become a part of your daily life, your habits, your activities. That is how speaking power becomes natural. Let me share one more story. I had a student who was very serious about improving his English. He studied grammar, he memorized vocabulary, but still he could not speak well. Then one day, he decided to live English. He changed the language of his phone to English. He started writing his diary in English. He watched only English movies, and he spoke with his friends in English as much as possible. At first, it felt strange, but after a few months, English became his world. He told me, I don't just study English anymore. I live in English. And his speaking power grew faster than ever before. This is the final spike. The moment when you imagine your future self. Close your eyes for a second and picture it. You are in a meeting, speaking English without fear. You are traveling to another country, asking for help. In English, with confidence. You are making new friends from different parts of the world. Laughing and enjoying conversations in English. That is your future. That is what will happen if you take action today, not tomorrow. So remember, join clubs, practice with friends, use online platforms, watch movies, read aloud, practice common dialogues, and most importantly, live English. The more you live in the language, the more natural it becomes. And one day, without even realizing it, you will find yourself speaking English clearly, confidently, and with real power. Now you can see clearly how speaking power is built. First, you understand what it really means. Then you remove fear and build confidence. After that, you create daily habits that might make you strong. And finally, you use your power in real conversations. This journey is not just about English. It is about changing your life, If you want to continue step by step with me, subscribe to this channel right now, like this video, and share it with a friend who is also learning English. Most important, write in the comments, AK, what is your biggest challenge in speaking English? Is it fear, vocabulary, grammar, or confidence? I will read your comment, and maybe my next video will be made just for you. Let's grow together.